everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of season 2 of the Ballrooms and Bachelors podcast, where we talk about dance life and all things Bachelor. I'm Camille.
I'm Matthew.
And on today's episode, we're just going to do a quick catch up of dance over the past week and then dive into the next episode of Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes. So
The,
much happens.
the Birds of Paradise episode that they've been
Yes.
advertising. So I think we could just dive into the dance
Yeah.
updates. So on last week's episode, I know I was mentioning that like right after we did the recording, we went to the studio. I did my dress rehearsal with my
Yay.
okay, so I have a few things to touch up, but I'm happy with the outfits. We're
Mhm.
good. And then I did officially sign up for the Dallas
That's
competition.
awesome. Yeah.
So I still have a few more payments to make, but
Mhm.
I am signed up. I have my little like star on the wall.
Yes, that's so awesome.
And then tonight we have at the dance party that we have, both Matthew and I are going to do a spotlight. So I'm going to be doing a spotlight of just like the beginning of my showcase so people can see, and Matthew's going to do
Same
his
thing.
showcase.
Yeah.
So then you can explain a little bit more of how your practice with that has been going,
Okay.
and then what you're doing this weekend.
Yes, yes. So it's very exciting. So like I had said last week, I had two lessons to finish my choreography with our instructor Elena last week, and that went really well. We finished the choreography and I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. And again, since it's such like a personal and just kind of vulnerable like routine for me, it's obviously something to where like you want to have a fun routine, but then also really
Yeah.
like have a routine to where you want to portray the story the way you want it to be told. And I think it's done perfectly. So I'm very excited about that. I've just been practicing pretty much the entire week just because I think as you probably can attest to, like the weeks and days like leading up to like a competition or performance, you're like, oh my gosh, it's coming so soon. It's just so crazy. But yeah, I am going to be performing the same thing like you had said, like the first kind of third of our routine tonight. And I'm very excited about that. And then this weekend, like I had said last week, my hope was to do this routine at our mini match event. And I decided last week that I was officially going to be doing that, which I'm very excited about. And I'm so excited. And I am actually going to be performing in the Soho studio on Saturday, which I'm very excited about. And then we also have some of our friends performing in the other New Jersey studio, and we're going to go support them, which is really fun. But yeah, like I had said last week, I haven't done a mini match performance thing in quite a while. So I'm very excited to kind of get that, I guess, performance kind of bug again out and everything, and just kind of and get that performance, I guess, itch going again for sure. Because I'm very excited about that for
I'm
sure.
excited to see. At least tonight if I can't make it on Saturday. But
Yes, yes. It's like it will all be posted. So
yeah.
if you miss it at the studio,
Yes.
you'll see it later.
Yes. So I think I mean, I don't know. That's really it.
I think
Right?
that's it.
That's
Yeah,
the
it's
game.
that's pretty much what we've been working on. So I guess it's not, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, all right, we can go to Bachelor
The
in Paradise.
crazy episode of Bachelor in
Yeah,
Paradise.
I don't know. I was just trying to catch up on everything.
Yeah.
So I will kick it off. So they left us at the end of the last episode talking about a Faith arrives on the horse.
Hmm.
So they're still, piggybacking off of that. And what did she made a joke about saying I might be the hoe of the show? And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like just for kissing.
I'm just like, okay, Faith, what an entrance.
I know. It's like she knows how to like make an entrance.
I don't think anybody was gonna say that.
No, no.
Um,
Especially a golden, but I guess that's not surprising, but that's
yeah.
funny.
And then they announced, just reminding us that the guys have the roses this week.
Mhm.
And then Matthew and I were just talking before we started recording about how
Yeah.
like the conversations were so chopped up
Very,
this
very, very
episode.
chaotic.
So we'll probably be like going back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was like Kat and Dale had a little bit of a talk at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know if you could start by getting into that a little bit.
Yeah, so basically what ended up happening was that Dale was kind of apologizing for what ended up happening the following week and says that Kat is really his priority and everything seems to be good. We obviously find out later in the episode that there's again a lot more drama that continues with them.
Yeah.
But I kind of had that suspicion that like they're not going to be done with this. I just especially since like how chaotic and I guess long like the drama with them the last few weeks have been. It hasn't just been like a one time, okay, we've moved on and that's it. So I kind of felt like this wasn't it, but like at least in the moment, I'm like, okay, that's good that they at least kind of are on the same page now, I guess.
I mean, I think he apologized to her, and I think because I was listening back to like our episode from last week, and I talked about how I did not like that he brought up the part about saying that they have different backgrounds.
Yeah, me
and
too.
he said that is what hurt me.
Right.
And
Which makes sense.
he
Yeah.
did at least like clarify what he meant by that, which I was just like, okay. So I think because like the apology was more about like that he got over the top and like, said those things more than less than like about where his intentions are. Because I think like later in the episode, that's where you see like, okay, well, he still has these intentions, but it's more of like what he said that he was
Right,
apologizing to
right,
get.
right.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, it seems like a little bit more positive at this point in time. And then and then was it them that who did they say that they that he said, oh, somebody yelled at them because they started making out and they were like, get a room, and he said, I need a towel.
Yes.
No, he said, because I'm wet because I was in the pool.
That was so good.
Oh my gosh. But
Yeah.
and then April,
And this, we got another body shot, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, with April and Dale. And like I said, the stuff with Dale and everybody that doesn't end when we
yeah.
think it ends.
Well, April is just
Again, very, very out there. I love that.
well,
But
she comes in and then she's just like, okay, like you do body shot off of me, and then Kathy's like,
yeah.
she's like, think of your children, think of your grandchildren.
And she's like, who cares?
Thing, and she's like, yeah, whatever. And then she's like, why do I love the young boys?
Yes. And then they showed the, I loved it, I don't know if you got it, but they had the like biologically 67 and mentally 18. That was so funny.
It's like, I didn't love as many of the little like
the little blurbs, yeah.
Blurbs, but I didn't even see that.
That one was really funny. Yeah.
But it was like, oh gosh, and you're thinking, like, was Kat gonna react to this? She's
Yeah.
hysterical. She's like, oh, I want to be next.
Yes.
But,
So
I mean,
I love
just
that.
like, you know, it's like at least they're enjoying their time together.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah. So that's good. That's fine.
And then what was the next conversation with Leia?
Leia and Jonathan, and then it was also shown before that Leia also has a date card, so she's kind of going to kind of scout out some people. So yeah, Leia and Jonathan visit, and then they talk. Yeah.
And we find out that at least like they were friends already because they live near each other in LA.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, like nothing ever progressed. Like they just you know, were friends, but she was just like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. And then they kept showing there was like this big leaf.
The leaf, yeah.
She made a mask out of the leaf and then she puts it on her face. But I was just like, wow, that leaf looked like it died very quickly.
No, I know.
Because
yeah.
she put it on her face when I was like in the moment, and it looked dead.
And no, it did. It didn't. It looked, yeah. It was like all brown.
Compared to like earlier on when they were like actually talking.
So that was really funny. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
I thought I know. And then Kathy was there watching them, which I thought was really funny. So then it was just like, oh, okay, they're being watched and everything. But again, like you had said, I think because they knew each other, at least from what I didn't really give a time frame, but I guess for a little bit, it made the conversation feel like it was much more natural than I feel like if they had never known or met each other.
Yeah.
And I just got the vibe they were very comfortable with each other, even though Leo was still kind of like, well, I'm not sure. I thought, again, it was still like, okay, this could make sense. That's at least what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the part that, oh no, sorry. Kathy makes the comment of I'm hungry. I'd like to eat something, 2 men on a sandwich. I don't know where, because it's like when they take these clippets from these interviews, I'm like, I don't know what they were talking about, that they pulled this like one-liner from and put that in there.
That was so funny.
And then what was it? Nancy asked Gary on the date.
Yes, and then he accepts. And I feel very bad for Leslie because then they showed Leslie saying, "Oh, we had such a great time. I thought things could go anywhere." And like I said, we all said last week that they had a really good date. So like, I kind of feel for her that like, again, I think in Paradise things are so fluid, but I just feel bad that she kind of you get that hope, and it's like, oh, again, it's taken away. Yeah. And then, did you have anything?
So Leia and Jonathan go.
Go on a date, and then they arrive in like a red Jeep. So then that was really cool. And then again, Leia was kind of talking about how she was very comfortable with Jonathan and they're like feel like they have very similar personalities. That's what I got, that they're like they can both be very like extroverted, but also kind of calm and serious. So that's kind of what I was thinking, oh, that could work out well. And yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think, well, because it's like, I know, again, they were like back and forth the way they edited this episode. Because I was like, they drive to go on the date, then they go back to Dale and Kat, and then he's saying that he's like still open to potentially explore other options.
But then says he has no intentions, but is also open. So it's kind of like counterintuitive. It's like, okay,
trying to, but he's not going to say no. So it's like, yeah, well, you don't have any other options currently that you want to explore. Right. It means like, so the short answer is yes.
Yes, exactly. It's like if it was a flat out no, he'd just say no. It's like no, but there's like some conditions on that.
But which like, you know, again, it's like how everybody's.
Exactly. Again, I just like we talked about, I think in episode 2, that like it's just a fine line between the actual like the regular Bachelorette and Bachelor with Paradise. I think there's much more of like leeway where it's like you could switch up and maybe if you communicate it well, there shouldn't be that many issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they cut back to
Leia and Jonathan.
Yeah, Leia and Jonathan on the date, because this is when they had more of the conversation, and that's sort of like it was just they're having this conversation, and I guess he kept getting parts of the coconut because and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so distracted, but he keeps doing this.
Yes. And then they talked about what they want in the relationship, and then she said that she thinks that she wants somebody that's family oriented is very important, and he
Yeah.
definitely agrees with that, and I do too. And he wants a partner and someone who has their own life rather than like trying to complete like each other's lives. And then again, like I said, it seemed like a good fit. That's what I took from the
Yeah, I
conversation.
think
But
they're a good fit, like in the way they, their conversation was like funny. I think it was just like
mhm.
it seemed like, I don't know. She communicates, because they always joke about how Alex and all of her
Yes,
chats
yeah,
talking to everybody. So I'm like, Leia communicates a little more like clearly, but like the way that her and Jonathan talk, like feels like that like little
yeah,
awkwardness
yeah, yeah, yeah.
together. So I was
Right,
just like, okay, so I don't know. We'll see. Like it's just sometimes it's like portrayed on the TV. Plus,
exactly.
also because they knew each other in person, like outside of
Right.
the time when they were on the show. So they're probably like, okay, we have to like talk about these things now.
Exactly. And that's what I took from them. One
Yeah.
of the last notes I put was that he was laughing so much with her. And
Yeah.
that was something I noticed like right away. I was like, man, and I think this is again the kind of like comfortableness that they have with each other. They could just be really kind of, I guess, really open with each other, which I thought was really cool.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I think Leia was like, oh yeah, we can laugh together, and that's very important. So
Yeah.
yeah, again, I thought it was good, but hopefully, fingers crossed, like you said, he's not as passive with Leia, I guess, as he has been with other people,
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, I
We'll see
guess
what happens.
also like if they are friends outside in the real world right now. So it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, so then it's also he's got that situation of like,
Mhm.
okay, well, like we are friends, so then
Right, yeah,
I don't want to mess this up or whatever,
right.
but yeah, so I
Yeah,
don't
so then that was it. And then Jesse, this is the next thing
know.
that
Yeah.
comes over. Yeah, Jesse comes and then kind of welcomes everybody. And
Yeah.
then Faith gets a date card.
Yes.
And then announces, oh gosh, announces the next chemistry test, which was like we were all waiting for the Birds of Paradise chemistry test. The mating ritual dance. And it was funny because like Sean was like, I'm ready, I'm down to do it. He was just like, let's go. So that was really funny. And then he was saying how Hannah and Wells were going to be the judges for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And the winning couple gets time in the VIP suite. Again, and that's kind of, I guess, like the grand prize for these challenges, I guess. But
Yeah.
what were you thinking?
So, I mean, just if you didn't watch the episode, essentially what the task is that the men will choreograph and perform a mating ritual dance. And what was really funny was because they were playing like I have seen so many reels on Facebook and
Mhm.
Instagram like of like the way that like birds like court
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
court their female partners.
Uh-huh.
And so they were playing some of the clips and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is literally like probably I mean, they're in like Costa Rica, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this is
yeah.
inspired probably from social media."
Uh-huh.
I was laughing because I was like, I have seen some of these before. So honestly, I mean, they played it up
They
and like
really did play it
and
up, of course. Yeah.
but I thought it was actually
It
funny.
was really funny. Yeah.
I think like the guys that were all there at least like had a good sense of humor about it.
They
Like,
did.
that was just they like announced this whole thing and then they
Yeah.
start cutting to like them putting on the outfits,
Yes.
which was like, it was
Again, they
funny.
were playing it up, and I love how it's funny. Again, another funny.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, the blurs were not the greatest, but I thought the funny one was they had with Kim, and he said, "Not afraid to get weird."
Oh, I
That
did see that
one
one.
was really
I
funny.
did see that one. That was
He did get weird, which was really.
oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh. And then kind of before the actual
Yeah.
chemistry test, they said that Brian was saying he's falling for Parisa. So then that's the
Yeah.
thing that was kind of established. And we kind of
Yeah.
already knew that, but he officially said that, I guess, was that he was falling for Parisa. Obviously, there's much more to that at the end of the
Yeah.
episode, but again, he made that known.
No, so I think that's where I mean, and that's the thing. Like Brian definitely seems to be happy with Parisa.
Yeah.
And he's talking to Jeremy, and then
This is where this stuff
yeah,
gets down. Yeah.
they're going back and forth because then Jeremy like it's so crazy because he's like, I want to do this without the mics, and I'm like,
And then he's still talking. I don't know. It's like,
I
wait,
maybe they took the mic off, but like there's still
there's some mics in the room.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But Jeremy basically said to Brian, like, tried to say quietly, he was just like, I don't want to win with Bailey because of Susie.
Susie and
And he's like, he messed up by not giving her the rose. And I'm like, you are still on this?
yeah, I know. It's so he was so like all in. Like he really made it seem like he was all in with Susie. And he made a huge mistake with it, and like I'm like that's crazy how that happened.
No, I know. And that was the biggest thing. And it's like, and then he also, well, meanwhile, they cut to Bailey, who's sitting there,
Yeah.
basically being like, I feel a strong connection with him, this whole thing. And then Jeremy also tells Brian that he called Susie. And
Mm.
then Brian, in the interview, he's like, well, I don't feel good about that. Like, he's planning to
Bailey
tell
should
Bailey.
know. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh gosh, here we go.
Yeah. We know how this is going. Yeah.
I thought Brian would play this, but
Right. 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 Yeah.
um,
So that's crazy.
then Gary.
Gary and Nancy go on their date. Another one of these freaking ritual dates. Again, we talk, and you know what? Like we were talking about the first, was it the first episode that? Yes, because it was
Jess
Jess
and Sam.
and Sam.
Yeah.
And they did that, and we were talking about how they kind of like. I don't want to say this was on the line of mocking it, but I think they were getting very close because again, it was much more of again they were like
This was
they were playing it up with the music and the dream sequences, and it was very, very like kind of out there rather than it being
yeah.
serious. So I thought this was more of like the show being, oh, this is kind of like funny, but then I was like, okay, so they went on again, it was another ritual date like we've talked about,
Yeah.
and they were starting to, or they had to do this like whole cacao
Yeah.
ritual date where I guess like it's like a healing thing, and they had to like drink stuff, and then.
Stuff. I think it's like a chocolate.
The cacao is like a chocolate thing.
Yeah, I've heard about these types of rituals and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't now. I've heard about it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a thing. But then they have this woman and she flat out like penetration is not allowed because this is a sacred ritual. Which like I'm like
that's fair, but
yeah, and I'm like, okay, you could have just not aired that on the
exactly.
television. So they're playing it up, and then they put Gary Singh as Chocoholic.
Yes.
And then that's when they did the
dream sequence. That was totally ridiculous, but it was
played like
yes,
no penetration, like on repeat. I'm like, how are you allowed to do this at this time on television?
And then they did the like whole like kaleidoscope vision while they were like with the music, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's like so.
I think they were really like they're hallucinating.
Hallucinated, yeah.
Okay, you're like in this high energy thing,
like,
and they're like this, and they're like feeling the motions, and.
But again, it just felt like they were kind of like really playing it up. It could have been taken like maybe this is a little ridiculous, but like like in terms of the way that they were editing it. But I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was funny, and then I mean, it was just like
they both seemed to enjoy it. That's what I thought, and they both said that they were skeptical of it at first, but they were kind of like open to it at the end. Like, oh, this was kind of fun. So
I think it's just like because they were the golden couple doing this. Like if it was the younger couple,
yeah, they would be all into it. Yeah,
it would have just gone differently. I think that's why they were like, okay, we're just gonna throw them something totally different.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that was the thing I didn't realize. I guess that they did the Birds of Paradise only for the people that weren't on the date.
Yes.
So like from a guy's perspective, Gary and Jonathan were like not
there.
Included in Birds of Paradise. So they started that, and of course, to stir up the drama, they were like, let's just have someone come in right at the Birds of Paradise event, and it's Alicia. And if
of course,
I don't know if so, like they made the outfits match your respective partner. And they made Alicia's also match Dale. Of course. Because she said it at the one part sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Yeah. She said it at the one part where they're like dancing together, and she's like, oh, did we match on purpose? I'm like, producers made you match.
Yes. It's like it's all coordinated.
I think she had red and black, so I guess theoretically they were like she could have matched with like Sean or Dale, but they probably were like, well, we know Dale's a little bit more like whatever at the time.
Yeah. And then, like you said, they were showing all the people getting ready and everything. And then they officially started the Birds of Paradise, I guess you could say, event. The rules. The rules. Yes, to get into the rules. Do you want to explain them?
No, you can go.
Okay, so basically what was happening is that they wanted the guys, again, like we were saying, to create like a mating call ritual. So I guess attract their partner and everything like that. So it was very funny, but then also I thought they played it up very well, and they were very good sports about it. Yeah. And did you have anything about?
No, it's just that they were like, if you like their courtship dance, you are encouraged to get up and dance.
Get up and dance, yes. So that was really funny. Yeah. And so then they officially started the Birds of Paradise thing, and Andrew was first and
slips right out the gate.
Right out the gate. He's ready and he went all out. And I love he was just like, you could call me Black Swan. It's just like
funny. He was posting on Instagram today about it, and he put like a picture of him, and he was just like, I am Black Swan.
I'm Black Swan.
Like, oh my gosh, Andrew. But
I love Andrew.
I still don't know how he slipped because he was wearing the socks.
Yeah.
But
so it was funny. And then I said Alex is smitten, obviously. She was like so excited for him. And so I thought he was a really good sport with that. It was really funny.
It was just funny because like Wells was just like, you wearing the socks, like they're soggy socks because the floor is wet. He's like, this is going to affect your score. But I think it's because we know, like Andrew was saying, how he's like very self-conscious about his feet, and I was just like, that's why he's wearing the socks.
And then Spencer was next, and I thought he was really funny. But again, there was really did you say anything? I didn't say anything for him because I didn't.
What was the writing on his chest?
Oh yeah, I forgot what it was, but I remember that he wrote something.
Was it like him and Jess to win or something?
Something like
I
that,
think it was
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah, something like that. I think it was something one of those where it was so quick, but like they couldn't
yeah.
cut from it. And then we got Kim, man,
Him.
and I said OMG because that was so he went all out and he like did it like the bird stuff. It was just like awesome.
What did oh no, that wasn't who he said. No, Will said it about Keith, not about
Yeah,
Kim.
yeah, yeah.
Him, but like Faith sounded interested.
She did. She
She
really did.
and then they have Kim in the interview and he was like, my feathers keep going up. And I was like, oh my gosh.
It's just like,
Um,
and then Brian was next. Brian
and
and
Parisa.
Parisa. So I didn't write anything down for them again.
I mean, just randomly, I love the color scheme of their outfit.
Me too. Me too.
If like that is a good color combination for like a Latin dress, but
Oh yeah.
table that for another
Just table that for another time. Yeah.
What else? And then
Dale.
he came out doing cartwheels.
Yes, he came out. Yep.
Alicia also got up in addition to Kat because
Yes.
it was just like, here we go.
Here we go. They're starting that drama again. Yep.
Keith wrote "Let's flock."
Let's flock, and then I was like, he was getting down, like he was ready for it.
Every single woman got up for Keith, and that's when Will said, "You look like Toucan Sam on crystal meth."
Yep, yep.
And Wells was like on Instagram today. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got the producers to put this on television."
I love that. It's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
And then we got Sean, which was really, really funny.
Wait,
Oh, no,
Jeremy.
oh, Jeremy, you're right. Okay. I didn't write that down. So what?
Jeremy, well, that's where I'm like, okay, now I'm like going over my notes again. And
Yeah.
in hindsight, he didn't want to win with Bailey. So I was like,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
okay. But he went out there, he straddled Alex.
Yes.
Then he cracked eggs on his chest.
You're right. Oh my gosh.
For the Bailey. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't with this whole thing.
Uh-huh.
So that
was crazy. Yes.
And then Sean.
And then Sean. And I'm a sexy peacock. I just love how he like whispered that in the interview. That was just so funny. And then that was it, correct? Because that was all I had.
Well, yeah, but April goes out there for Sean.
Yes, yes.
And then they started making out, and I was just like, and then Jill. Well, let me go to Jill. He did not even come over to Jill.
No, he didn't.
April went out there. We were like, okay, this is gonna be the whole joke about it. But what did Will say? He was like, I don't know if this is biologically possible, but you may be pregnant.
Yes.
And then Jesse was like, that was weird.
That was weird.
I think they just want to make sure that they're like acknowledging, like, we're not
like advocating this. Exactly. It's like this is yes.
This is your choice.
Yes.
How many people has April made out with this episode?
Oh my gosh.
2.
Yeah, 2, I think.
2, at least.
Yeah, at least yes. And then so then Brian and Parisa win the challenge.
Yes.
And then again they were doing the whole we're gonna flock tonight. And then was that Brian who said that? I think it was Brian, and then Parisa was like, no, we're not.
Yeah, like he's like in the whole VIP suite.
Yes.
Other finalists were Alex and Andrew, and then Wells was like, I don't know about the socks, but they said confidence on the bottom.
Yes.
It's like attention to detail.
Uh-huh.
And then also Sean and April were one of the finalists.
Yes. So then I guess the rest of them just start partying.
Yeah.
And then I had Alicia and Dale talking next. Yeah. That was the next thing I had. And then obviously Kat is very jealous. Again, when we thought that okay, after the apology at the beginning of the episode, we thought this was going to end, and I knew it wasn't. Especially like they probably knew that like Alicia was going to come in and be like, okay, she likes Dale, and it's like, okay, cool. Like this is going to create more drama with the two of them.
Yeah.
And so then I just thought that was crazy.
I mean, yeah, Sean and Alicia also talk. So it's like it's hard because I think like as you'll see like later in the episode, like I think Kat's trying to handle it as best as she can.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just like she's less bothered by Alicia. It's more about Dale. Mm-hmm. And obviously just because of like what has transpired in the past. But and
then Jill is upset with Sean talking, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because again, I just don't think she could ever really catch a break. I guess it's like somebody seems to like her, then moves on, and the next it just never seems like it ever works. And I just feel for her, but then she leaves, and then she said she's ready to move on. She tells Sean is very upfront, like I wish you the best, but I just can't do this. And then I get that, like if you're not being chosen, like don't waste your time. So
no. And it's like it's hard in Paradise because sometimes it's just like. Because like in Jill's perspective, it's like you could always be like, look, just hang around till the next day, like just enjoy the time, and then like, no, you're gonna go home and then leave. But I think she just got to the point where she's just like, okay, I'm just calling it now.
Right.
I think it was better for her. And
exactly.
Like, I hope everything's fine.
I hope so.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
Better off.
Yes.
then they cut back to Brian and
Barista in the
and
VIP suite. Yep. And this is where things got a little interesting. So I thought this was going to be like, okay, it should be kind of cute. But then Parisa asked Brian, like, how or what's your favorite color? And again, it was a very like kind of, I guess, get to know you question. Obviously, that's a very common thing that people ask each other. And he was like, oh, I really don't want to ask that. I really don't want to answer that. Why are you even asking that? And then
yeah,
he was saying in his interview, he was like, oh, I want to kind of see the more romantic side and the more like I guess physical side of Parisa. And that was really what he was focused on. And then it just turned like then Parisa thought she was doing something wrong. I was like, why did I
yeah.
ask that? And it was just so weird.
It's just like, yeah, I was not a fan of this
No, me neither. Me
situation
neither.
because it's just like she's trying to be like cute and ask like a fun question or whatever, and then it's just like, I don't know. It's just everybody has different ways that they
No,
connect, and
no,
I'm just like, I don't know why like he made such a big deal about it.
no, exactly. Because I had said it. I
Yeah.
had literally said you can be romantic, but also get to know each other on a more deeper level at the same time. Like it's not like it's one is exclusive to the other. So
It can be perceived maybe as a like childish question, but it's just like whatever. It's just like
like
they have alone time.
exactly. I mean, use it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like whatever. So she's just like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. The way he kind of snapped, I didn't like it.
And then he just said, "Oh, I'm joking," but I didn't believe that. But that's what he was like, "Oh, I'm joking," but
Because then did he still didn't
he
answer.
said an answer. So it was just like, okay, cool.
What? It's probably black.
Yeah,
There's
yes.
nothing wrong with
Yeah.
no soul.
No,
Okay, I'm
so
being dramatic. People just please. Anyway, so anyway, then they go back to the party.
yes, they go back to the party.
Alicia and Dale again.
Yes, Alicia and Dale again. And then they were both talking about how like Dale was like, "Oh yeah, I'm because then Alicia had asked, "Oh, are you like seeing anybody and everything like that?" And then Dale had said that like, "Oh yeah, I'm open to it." And then they were getting into how like since they're both I guess Midwesterners or at least from that same kind of I guess upbringing, they really relate to that. And then same upbringing, yes, bring it back to the whole we come from different backgrounds, all that stuff. And then again, it doesn't seem like he's as committed to Kat as she is with him. But even though he said he was, like I said, he was saying
Yeah,
that to
yeah,
Alicia, and it was interesting because Alicia was like, "Yeah, I just was later, but she was saying, oh yeah, I like Sean, but like there's something still like attracting me to Dale that like I really can't shake." And it
yeah,
seemed like they
yeah,
kept playing that up, and
yeah.
and I just thought that was interesting.
Well, they yeah, I mean that was, I mean, and that's right, yeah, because that's I know it was like later in the episode, but I'm just thinking like I
Hmm.
think, well, yeah, like Alicia, I think was like trying to be respectful of it, um, but yeah, wait. So at this point in time, also like Jonathan was like went to go talk to
The
Kat
cat,
again,
and she's
and
kind of done at this
they
point,
said
so
back Kat it again.
yes.
But he was just like, so Jonathan tells Kat that he heard Dale say something to the effect of like, I just want to go on a date to see if Kat sweats, and
Hmm.
then they literally played the clip of him saying it.
Yep. Hmm.
And then Alicia, they go cut to her talking about it, and Alicia's just like, about Dale. He's a man, and I'm like, are you sure
Are
about
you sure about that?
that? Because after the way he's been acting a little bit.
Yes.
But Jeremy says then Kat goes over to Jeremy, and Jeremy says that Dale didn't say that. But then Jeremy tells Dale that Jonathan told Kat about it, and
Hmm.
then Dale confronts them, and then they keep playing all the clips that he's supposedly denying he's saying.
Yes, yes. So it's
And
just like we see it.
now,
Yeah.
granted, yes, maybe there was more context to the clips. I'll give
Yes, yes, that could be true. Yes.
but like he's definitely saying these things,
Hmm.
and then he's like, well, Jonathan's trying to sabotage them, and I'm like, okay, listen, listen, listen. Sorry, that's my shoulder. We always have this every once in a while.
Your shoulder is reacting to,
Yeah,
I guess, this whole conversation too. Yeah.
cut the tension. No, so they like he's trying to sabotage it. I'm like, Dale, you are also sabotaging it. I mean, it's like,
Yes.
yeah, okay, yeah. Jonathan definitely seems like he's trying to stir some stuff.
Yes.
Like the timing of when he comes in to say something, but like he is also being supportive.
Hmm.
So yeah, but then I don't know. Alicia keeps saying like like interested in Sean, but then he reminds her of her ex.
X. Yeah.
Um,
And it's like, oh, like again, there's something that's attracting me to Dale, and I really can't get rid of it. I don't
yeah,
know what it is, but she kept
yeah.
saying that. Yeah.
Then they say Gary and Nancy get back from the date.
Yep.
Gary's like, I'm sopping wet
Yes.
after the thing.
And I love how he walked in and he was like, "What were you guys doing?" Because they were all still in their bird costumes.
Yeah,
It
I
was
guess
like,
they didn't even know what
what had
shift it
happened?
was.
Yeah. And it was so funny that
Oh
he
my
was like
God.
reacting to that. Yeah.
And then they go to the next morning, and so I know Leslie's like kind of struggling because she's, again, like reflecting on Gary having the date,
Hmm.
um, and they show Brian and Parisa talking in the morning.
Yes, this was so awkward. And he said he wasn't in the best mood. And you know what this gave me a lot of, and I think a lot of Bachelor Nation will
Yeah.
agree with me on this. What this interaction reminded me of, it took me back right to Zach and Rachel's fantasy suite date because it was very awkward. Again,
Yeah.
very like tiptoeing on the conversation. I was like, this is the exact things. But then they were like trying to be like, oh, how do you like your breakfast and stuff like that, or your coffee, or whatever. And that was how they talked in their fantasy suite, like in the morning thing too. And I was like, it felt the exact same.
I feel like Brian like was reading the room.
No, he wasn't.
No, he
No,
wasn't. I think
no.
Zach and Rachel, they knew they
They
were
knew
like
they weren't working. No, no, no. It's just the vibe. Yeah.
like
He's like, cool. Yeah. But the vibe just felt similar. But yes, for sure.
yeah.
Very different.
No, I
Yeah.
mean I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like I just she wasn't even hungry. She's like, yeah, they were like lost her appetite.
Hmm.
I don't know. She just didn't feel like it was as romantic as she anticipated. It's
No.
almost like I wish we didn't win because it's off now. And I think yeah, I think it's just like I felt for her because it's like they were connecting, but then he
Yeah.
just I don't know.
But then she was making it seem like it was all her fault. Like, which I felt bad about her. So I felt bad about that.
It
Yeah.
did because I think she just like got super self-conscious because it's just like he clearly has one perception of what he thinks intimacy is
Hmm.
and
And then,
at least of what he was trying to get out of that
mm,
and then like clearly when they had this more of this alone time like they didn't seem aligned on that and it
right.
was like like you should be comfortable being your full self with the other person and
Right.
like and then like Parisa started to like
Like, or did I say things or what should I have not said? All that stuff. Yeah.
yeah it's very jarring like the first time that you get that reaction
It's very
like
true.
yeah
Yes.
so I think that's where I was like for her it's just kind of
Yeah. Hmm.
so anyway I mean that's just like now they went through that so like we'll
Hmm.
see what else pans out but
Yeah.
um Kim has to go to the medical clinic because the
Hmm.
rate was kind of out of whack and he was the
Hmm.
oldest guy or
Yeah, I
person
think
there.
oldest guy or person. Yeah.
And then they go about like Alicia has the date cards
Hmm.
considering everybody.
Yeah, and then she talks with I think some of the girls, and she likes Dale and Sean again. So it's just again saying
Yeah,
like again I don't know which one to pick and everything like that. So
yeah. Well then Faith.
yes, and then Faith. Oh my gosh.
So Kim was gone
Yeah,
and Faith was going to invite
Kim
Kim,
on the date. Yeah,
but she decides to invite Kathy on the
this
date.
was very sweet.
Yeah, it was very sweet
Yes.
because apparently Kathy has a big fear of horseback riding because I guess stuff had like happened in the past. And so Faith's like, I want to bring you on the date to conquer your fear of
Yeah.
horseback riding. And I was just like, well, it's so funny because we've talked so much about how many like bromances come from the show. And I
Yeah.
love seeing the bromances. And like there are a lot of friendships between the women, but I
Yes.
feel like it just doesn't always get the same attention.
Hmm.
And I was like, especially because this was a golden group,
Right.
it,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just so sweet.
It was very sweet.
And then it was like they didn't try to like make it awkward.
No, no, no. It was just like we're just two friends going out
Yeah.
having fun.
I totally thought Kathy was gonna make a joke. Be like,
Yeah.
kiss now.
Yes. Yeah. 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 I totally saw that.
The things that Kathy has said, I'm like, oh come on, she's totally gonna like do
She's gonna say
something.
that's absolutely a Kathy
But
thing to say, but it was really
it was
sweet.
so cute.
Yes.
And then well, uh yeah, again, they kept going ping-ponging back.
Yes.
They go, Alicia was talking to Dale,
Mm.
and then Kathy was like riding the horses, and then she's
Yes.
ready for the Kentucky Derby now.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't know if she has like it was just loud or they were just too far apart or she had like issues with her hearing. But Kathy keeps being like, I can't hear you. I can't
Mhm. I can hear you. Yes. That was so sweet.
But then the horse started wandering off at one point.
Mhm.
She's like, oh my goodness, wait, you gotta do this. So I was like, oh, that was like a really sweet moment.
That was a very sweet moment. And I'm glad that again, like you said, that they didn't like play it up to be, oh, this is weird. I'm just glad I was just like, oh, this is two people who are like friends just hanging out. And
Yeah.
again, just because of circumstances. I thought that was fun. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So then
Mhm.
he gets back.
Yes.
Did you get what he said when he came back about telling
Did I?
everybody?
Oh, I did not. Did you?
He said all these hot women just elevated my heart rate last
Yes,
night.
yes, yes. Yeah.
But then they put feeling faithless because he was sad because he's like, oh, I missed out on the date now. But I'm just like, okay, this is one of those like it kind of like it's like we want you to connect with Faith, but like this moment with Kathy
It
was
was
really
sweet,
nice.
so it's okay. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be other opportunities.
Kim is medically okay now.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. That's all. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
most important. So, yes.
And then they finally go back to Alicia with talking to Kat.
Yes.
Dale, so you can if you want to go through that part.
So yeah, so Alicia was talking with Dale again, and she went to Kat and asked again, oh, who you like and everything like that, and then Kat was like, oh yeah, I've been with Dale and everything like that, and then she was like, oh yeah, or oh no, it was the opposite. I think Kat asked Alicia who she liked, and then yeah, and she's like, oh yeah, I like Sean, and I also like Dale, and then Kat kind of just had to like I guess smile on that, be like, oh okay, that's cool. But yeah, like we're kind of, I guess, a thing, and I know he's not really looking for anything else. And then it made it pretty clear that she would be pretty upset if if like he accepted a date from Alicia, if she asked him and he
Yeah.
accepted. Um, and they cut to like then they went over to Dale and then felt like something was there with the two of them.
Yeah.
And he said that he was conflicted. Again, like he's committed to Kat, but then also is like, oh yeah, if the right person comes along, I'm open to accepting the date. Which was interesting to me just because like in personality wise, I really feel like Alicia and Sean work together better anyway, but that's just my thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, so I'm glad she like that was the thing. Even the way that her and Kat navigated the conversation, I thought it was
It
fine.
was fine.
I
Yeah.
was like, I think Kat's like obviously understanding, but she's just frustrated because of everything with Dale. But I
Yeah.
she invites Sean on the date, so I was like,
Yes.
to me feels like Alicia was trying to just be like, well, let me just take Sean because I don't want to rock the
Exactly.
boat.
That's what I got too. She literally said that because she was like, I think that's the last like problematic choice. I think that's what
Yeah,
she
and
said.
it's just like, well, girl, you gotta follow your heart because
Yeah.
sometimes, because that's the thing. I'm like, listen, I'm not a fan of how Dale's acting, but it's just maybe him and Alicia are a better choice,
Yeah.
or a better pairing. I mean, I at one point was like, and this is obviously no criticism of Kat, but
Mhm.
I just felt like when I was just like reading their personality while they were there, part of me
Mhm.
just felt like I was like, Kat just seems like more combative for him, and they don't gel as well. And I was like, maybe him and Alicia are a better fit.
Right.
So it's just like sometimes you just got to follow your gut and not think
Mhm.
about what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Easier
that
said than
it
done.
is no, totally, yes.
Uh,
So then this was very small, but Faith and Kathy returned from their date or outing, and
yeah,
then Kathy was saying because again they were doing that whole thing was like, oh yeah, Kim wanted to take Faith on the date, and then vice versa, and then Kathy was kind of sharing her opinion how she doesn't
yeah,
really see them together, but then was like, okay, weirder things could happen, but I
yeah,
don't see it. So
yeah. Because she said that Faith is more like she's an independent, free
yeah,
spirit, and
right.
like Kim is like was in the my gosh,
The Navy, yeah,
Navy.
Navy captain,
Yeah,
yeah,
so he's like structured, and Kathy's just like I don't know how
really
they feel,
care, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
we'll see. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's so that was yeah. Kathy made that comment.
Yeah. And then the next thing I had was Alicia and Sean's date.
Yeah.
So do you want me to take over? Or do you
Yeah,
want to say it?
you can talk about it because I was like the date was like the whole like
The whole five senses. And
I didn't take that many notes aside from just that.
yes, yes, I didn't either. Like in context, I feel like that's a really fun idea, but then also could be really weird, but or like awkward. But they seem to take took
Yeah,
it well.
yeah, yeah.
And then I forgot what the context was for this whole thing, but he was like, "Oh, have you ever like played the boom whacker and like on like instrument?" And yeah, and I just thought of it, and she was like, "Oh, what?" And it was just so funny. And then they did like a blindfolded touch thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess to like do that sense, and then they had this whole like food board, I guess that they were
Yeah.
like doing the whole taste thing.
Yeah.
So it was this all this like I guess get very intimate way of using the five senses.
Yeah.
And then like I said, they both seem to have very similar energy. They can be calm with each other, but then also kind of again intimate. And they kissed multiple times, so you could at least tell there was some chemistry there.
Yeah.
And again with also with the taste they were feeding each other, and that was pretty much it. I didn't really show too much of the date. It was a pretty short kind
Yeah.
of, I guess, the way that they showed it, but I thought it went well. It seemed like it wasn't like, oh, there was no connection here with Sean. It seemed like
Yeah.
there was at least something, even if she picks Dale or whatever, or goes to him at some point. It feels like at least the one date went well. That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like they only show so many snippets of it, but I was like, at least it seemed like they had a good time. I think it's just like probably where we keep seeing like Alicia. I mean, we're like, just foreshadowing this whole thing because it came up during like the cocktail hour, the rose ceremony. But no, like Alicia just feels like Dale is still more invested than Sean. Well, that's the thing. She feels Dale is more invested in like wanting to talk to her, wanting to speak to her than Sean is. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, that's like a totally valid thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's like even if she feels connected to Sean, it's
Mhm.
like, she owes herself to still explore it with Dale because you need to know,
Yeah, exactly.
But then that was
That was it. Yeah, I just
Lisa
yeah.
was regrouping with the girls after the date.
Mhm.
Told them the same stuff she said earlier on, I think.
Kind of just again kind of self-conscious again. I wish I wouldn't have said that, like why, like is this something I said, like I don't know. And they were kind of trying to comfort her and
Yeah.
everything, and again I feel bad that again it wasn't any unreasonable things she asked, so it
Yeah.
was like again I feel bad that she was just beating herself up over it, but yeah.
Yeah. Um,
And then the rose ceremony cocktail party was next.
yeah.
So which was pretty short because there really wasn't there was like 10 minutes left in the episode. So I kind of knew that it was not gonna end with a rose ceremony. But Leia was saying that she finds Jonathan hard to read. So they were kind of going back to like how like, oh yeah, we knew each other, but I don't really know how to read him and he's a little confusing. That's
Yeah.
what Which I guess we've talked about again, like he kind of maybe jumps from one thing. He can't, like he's kind of passive about things.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing because it's just, I mean, it could just also be how he is as a person, but it's just like I don't know. We'll have to see as that because like we just saw their date. We didn't see that much of like their interactions or like in the moments of like how he is. So I was like, we'll see what transpires next week, but.
And then Dale talks with Dale talks with Wells, and he was saying how he's not used to this environment and kind of like I guess trying to commit to like I guess one connection at least in this type of environment, and says that he's connected with Alicia very easily. And again, it was kind of making the I guess the thought that I guess there's been problems with Kat and with Alicia, even though they've only met each other the day before or 2 days before, whatever. He was like, yeah, there's just something about her, kind of like what she was saying about him. There's like something about it. I can't. It was just really strange. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Listen, if they're end game, then this is all worth it. But it's just like I feel bad for Kat.
No, me too.
So it's more about like. I don't know. It's just more the way he's handled the conversations that I think has bothered me.
Yes,
me
too.
That's been my whole thing.
Me too.
I was like, literally, I was like seeing memes, like recapping this week's episode, and it was just like, we're irritated with Dale.
Yeah.
We're irritated with Brian. We're irritated with Jeremy.
Yes.
We're irritated with all of them.
Yes.
And I was like, yep, that's kind of.
That checks out.
It's like Spencer, Andrew, and Jonathan are like, okay, we're good.
We're fine. Yes.
And I guess by extension, Keith, Gary, and Kim. I mean, they're handling whatever. They're prominent in the Golden group, but like they're handling it.
They're handling it better. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then then it was just the promo.
Yeah, they just ended on a cliffhanger, no rose ceremony, and then it was pretty much the same thing last week where they were talking about kind of Jesse saying this is where this things to start to make a change, and the like couples will have a choice to make, and the end prize is going to be $500,000, and then obviously all the couples are like no way and everything, and it seems like it's going to be a much different, I guess, the way that they go about the season than we've seen in seasons past.
Yeah.
And again, it was just kind of like a repeat of the promo last week, but I thought overall it was a good episode, but I'm curious to see kind of the new things that they're really like hinting that's going to be a huge change. Like I think those are.
I think that they're doing it at this rose ceremony, so I'm wondering if it's even going to be a rose ceremony.
Yeah, I'm curious because it seems like it was like coming up soon, so we'll see what happens.
It might. That's probably going to be the beginning of the next episode.
We'll see.
We'll see what's going on.
That's good.
We actually got through it a little quicker tonight.
We did. Yeah, it was like, you know what? I think we're getting better at the like 2-hour episodes. When there's not a 3-hour episode, we get through these things pretty quickly. So
just wait until when we're getting closer to the finale and all that stuff.
Yes.
More dance updates.
And no, totally, exactly.
But anyway, I think that's it.
I think that's it. Yes.
So thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell, and also follow us on Instagram at Ballrooms and Bachelors. And see you next week.
Yes, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.